Listen here, it's 2025 and Doom is coming out. Doom Dark Ages, and it looks amazing. It's in the medieval era, at least that's what it feels like. Armor, shields, demonic dragons, everything you could want. And somehow, it's still not the weirdest thing to happen to Doom, okay? Do you guys remember the original Doom? And do you guys also remember what people did with it? So far, what I understand basically is, if it has a screen, some nerd out there has already made it run Doom. Let's find out how, and more importantly, why. Today we're checking out some of the dumbest and most brilliant ways people have forced Doom to run on things it was never supposed to touch. Including this thing I definitely failed math on. Welcome to Can It Run Doom? How are you doing, guys? It's me again, Louis, and for once again I had some questions I wanted to be answered, and today I have some special guests that might also help me with that.
My name is David Stark. I'm an indie game developer from Zurich. I've been making games professionally for about 10 years. I'm also the co-founder of the Swiss Game Hub. And the game you might have heard of that I've made is called Airships Conquer the Skies. It's a steampunk real-time strategy game.
I wanted to look deeper into that, and I have no clue about game dev, game making, game creating, optimizing, and whatever. Okay, this is totally new for me. I have no clue and I'm too stupid for that, that's for sure. So, how does that even work? How can you manage to do that?
Let's find out.
Some platforms are a lot more narrow and a lot more well-defined than others. If you make a game for PC, that's technically one platform, but you have all of this different hardware. You don't know what the graphics card looks like, you don't know what the CPU, what the RAM looks like, so you're targeting something kind of vague. But if you're, say, making a game for PlayStation 5, you know exactly what, each console is the same as the next one. So if it runs on one PlayStation 5, it should run on all of them.
Doom in 1993 was one of the first games released with the source code publicly. And we all know when there is a source code publicly, people do everything with it. As long as they get their hands on the code, they will somehow find a way to use it, to mod it, and they will do it. It was already made portable, and the open source nature of it was like almost a con. You could almost see that this will happen for sure. It runs in DOS or DOS, so it's easy to emulate. And yes, I have no clue what the hell that means. But how does a game from 1993 end up on your smart fridge, your pregnancy test, probably your dentist x-ray machine?
So the thing with Doom is, I want to go back a little bit to the question of, what you're getting at is was Doom ported to so many platforms? Why is it possible to port it to so many platforms? The thing with Doom is that so the way you make graphics fast is that you really work together with the hardware and you really use the specific things that the hardware can do. And each hardware works a bit differently and can do different things. And so sometimes you have to reorganize how you do things quite a lot. What's unusual about Doom is that it's a game that came out on PC just before graphics cards. And the PC without the graphics card it's really an office computer. It's a very general purpose piece of hardware. And so Doom's code isn't using any of these really specific tricks. It's very well written, it's very well optimized, but it's also very general purpose. And that's what makes it comparatively easy to port, because you can take the code and you can put it onto a different platform, onto a lawnmower or whatever. As long as the lawnmower has a CPU and some memory and so on, it can also run Doom. And that's sort of an accident of them making a game for the PC, when the PC was really general purpose.
Okay, let's see some of the funniest devices I found. And there's literally a full Reddit on it, okay? There's a Reddit dedicated Can It Run Doom. So yes, pregnancy test is amazing and funny, but that wasn't the funniest one. In my opinion, the calculator was the funniest one. I mean, we all were at school playing along and just pretending we are learning. God damn, if I had my calculator at that time with Doom running on it, I would be fucked. A smartwatch is also interesting. I mean, just hanging around and playing on your smartwatch Doom, it's really nice, but it doesn't seem that hard to do. Smartwatches nowadays are strong as hell. The fridge, I mean, why not? Let's play around before I'll take my food. And in my case, that would actually help. So instead of just getting food all the time, I would play the game, and I preferably would play the game. So hey, I would eat a little bit less, I guess. The next one is the ATM. Imagine you want to go to take your money and there's just fucking Doom playing there. I mean, why not, I guess. This goes same with the fridge. Think about it. Instead of taking out your money and buying stuff you don't need, just play a game, guys. A digital camera was something I was a little bit surprised. I, in my time, had some digital cameras, and those things work fine, but for the most of the things, it just doesn't need much much power to work, I guess. Okay, it's just a menu and then it's a screen. But seeing Doom on it was a little bit weird to me because I was actually thinking like, damn, how? And one of the craziest one, obviously, the pregnancy test. They somehow modified the digital display with a custom firmware and then made it run there. I mean, that's the craziest one out of all. I still think the calculator is way more crazier, but the pregnancy test makes it just seem like it's just out of nowhere. Doesn't a pregnancy, it doesn't have a... I'm confused. How is that possible? There was someone playing it on a Lego brick computer? Bro. Minecraft. Okay, I'm not surprised about Minecraft. People have done craziest thing on Minecraft, so this is like the least surprising to me. But still, that's dedication. So someone made it able to be played on a printer, like in ASCII art frames. What? And this is so far the funniest one, a toaster. They hacked like the Linux-based hardware. What? Why does a toaster even have anything to do with like computer? So the next time someone makes fun of your PC being a toaster, can it play Doom? Man, I love these things, man. I might have to look even deeper to find out if there's even crazier ones. And one of the funniest, Windows Notepad. Once again, rendering Doom in like these ASCII characters. How the hell do I how?
The whole thing with Doom is you don't have to change that much. You have to change some things, obviously. You have to figure out how it talks to the controls, how it talks to the screen and so on. But you don't have to reorganize the whole game around the platform. Back in the 80s and early 90s, you had these different platforms, but like Sega and Nintendo and so on, all of these different consoles. And you sometimes got games that were running, that were like made for a Nintendo console, they were ported to a different console. And these often look quite different and played kind of different, and that's because they were rebuilt from the ground up because they had to work with a very different environment. And Doom just doesn't do this, so that's why it's easy to move.
The original WAD file is 2.39 megabyte. Yes, you heard it right. Not gigabyte, not terabyte. And thinking about that, you realize, yeah, you can easily store in every device 2 megabytes. And I would assume they have way more. Like, so the simplest device has probably like 5 to 10 megabytes maybe? I don't know. So the source code was also released in 1997, so that allowed everyone to modify it and port it. So this was way back. So we are not talking about like recently. So people did that way back and they had access to it way back. And you have to emulate it, okay? Emulating means like you take a game that isn't supposed to play on specific devices and you play it on your PC and whatever. Let's be honest, every one of us did that once.
And so what the emulator does is that it takes the compiled code, it takes the machine language, and it looks at it and figures out how to do the same thing on the PC. So the difference is that rather than taking the original text code and compiling it for PC, turning it from text code into PC machine language, you take the machine language for, let's say, the Genesis, and after the fact, you figure out, okay, how do we make the PC pretend it's a Sega Genesis?
So let's take a step back for a second. This isn't just about memes or getting Doom to run on a smart toilet. Also a good idea. Okay, maybe a little bit about that. It's about a game that's so iconic, so well built that it's still alive 3 decades later. Not just in reboots or remakes, but in code that it refuses to die. And I love it. Especially for someone that has no idea what's going on and how this works. I hope today we learned a little bit about that. It's just funny. It's so funny see it on the most random things again. From floppy disk to fridges from hell to heaven. I mean, come on guys, Doom is actually eternal. And not just because of the 2020 game, I mean, let's be honest, the game was like, but it is what it is. And as we gear up for Doom the Dark Age, just remember, there will always be another screen, there will always be another hack, and Doom will always find a way. So there you have it, Doom is immortal. If this video doesn't run on your printer, is it even worth to watch it, guys? Like and subscribe, hit that bell so you don't miss my next deep dive into gaming's weirdest stories. Now get out of here.
1